Hello Flosstube, my name is Kristen and this is a channel about cross stitch. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, and this is my April update. And as always, thank you and welcome to new and returning viewers. You are very appreciated. And so I don't know what got into me in April. I worked on 9 things, which is way too many for me. I don't know what happened. I lost my marbles. That's what happened. So I'll just not even going to try to explain myself. I'm just going to go from the beginning to the end and we'll see what I did. So I started the day after my last video. We had a bit of a crazy early April storm, which actually knocked the power out of my work. So I got a snow day, which is very rare. And I actually had a record number of stitches for me for full cross stitches. I did, in that one day, I did 723 stitches. And this was a new project. I showed it a tiny little bit during my last video. This is the Princess Bride first edition book cover from Sub-Zero Stitches. That's going to look like one of my favorite movies. And I dyed the Ada so that I didn't have to do all of those red stitches. I'm not going to live long enough, I don't think, to search and stitch everything that I have in here. So this was a total of 1,139 stitches, which the percentage isn't right because it's just taking the percentage of the entire chart. I haven't taken out the red yet, so according to this, I only have 2.33% done. But I started in the middle, and I think when I showed it to you, that little bit that I had done the month before, I had done like a tiny little few stitches in the center there. So I got a bit more of the mountain done and started on the castle. And that color is pretty true. That might be a little more true. It's a smidgen darker than that. So I would say back here it's a little bit better. I was happy with that dye job. And I worked on that. You know what? I'm not even sure how many days I worked on that. I worked on it for a couple, and then I think I went back to it for some reason. I don't know. And I'm not sure what I'm all discombobulated here today. Then I worked on, okay, again, not sure why. I think I have a picture of this. I showed this in one of my kit parades. I just started doing a rewatch of Bridgerton. So I decided I would pull out my Lady Whistledown Society papers, which I got off of Etsy. Shoot, I didn't write down the name of the designer. Sorry. And I did 3 days on this. And it's not on Pattern Keeper, so I have no idea how many stitches I've done. And it's on 32 count cream Lugana, which, if you've seen me before, know that I don't really do well on 32 count, but I think I did pretty good. So this is pretty much what it will look like. And I did get a bunch done. It's not like me to have that many new starts, because I actually have another new start to show you. So I'm a little worried about I don't know if you can tell from that picture. I think those are wisteria plants hanging down. They look a little pixelated. I'm not sure how it's going to be. But so far, I think this is looking okay. We'll see. Who knows when that will come out again. I've had it in my to-be-done pile forever. Right. And then I did work on Joan Elliott's Madonna and Child. I had done a center start, and I think I was over here somewhere, but I really wanted to see if I placed her correctly on this fabric. So I just kind of worked my way over here and got up to the top of her head. And I'm not planning on stitching the halos or those little beads around their heads. I'm stitching this on Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers After the Rain, in case you want to see that. And I had her actually take out the raindrops because I didn't want it to be too busy. This is an out of my comfort zone fabric, and this is a 28 count Lugana, and it's hand painted, I believe. So I think I placed her pretty okay, because as this comes down, this is going to be where the angle's down where the baby is. I don't know how many stitches that is because it's on paper again, but I think I did a pretty good job. Luckily, because I wouldn't want to ruin that fabric. It's really nice. Whoops. Ah! Crash. Alright. Oops. And I know I'm going back and forth between my phone and my tablet to give you guys all the pictures that you need to see. So this is where I went off the rails. I've never done a stitch along before, and I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that I had everything I needed just by the chart, and I've been really good about not buying things. I know I went on a bit of a spending freeze since the beginning of the year, and I've done really well. Anyway, so I joined, let me get it right, Lola Crow Cross Stitch Deadly Aquarium SAL. I just the little tiny little snippets you could see, I just thought it would be something I would really enjoy. And in my, I don't know why I thought that I could keep up, because I'm not going to keep up. If this is the only thing I stitched on, maybe I could keep up. So the first section came out a few weeks ago, and it was just the frame. Oops. And she's on Etsy, so you could look this one up. Oops, sorry, the glare. So there's a couple of seagulls on there, and then some of the grasses, and then a sign for the Deadly Aquarium. And I did join the Facebook group, which has been fun. And I took it out twice, and I dyed this. This is 18 count Ada that I dyed. And I'm happy. Actually, it's the second piece that I dyed. I wasn't happy with the first piece. I do know how many stitches I got on this. I'm sorry, I can't remember everything. There's too many projects. I got 900, nope. I got 1,676 stitches done. So I got 27.5% done on the frame. And I worked on that for maybe 4 days. So I thought I got a pretty decent start on that. I was so silly and thought, oh, it's a stitch along. It won't be too time consuming. I could do a little bit of this every month and keep up with the stitch along and stitch on my other stuff. There's no way. There's 6,000 stitches just in the frame, and you have 6 weeks to do it. So I'm going to be behind. But I am going to stitch on this every month and hope that I don't get too terribly far behind. But it's been fun. It's been really fun so far. And it's kind of exciting to not know what's coming. I liked her other, she had a couple other stitch alongs that are older, so you can see the whole project, and I liked the look of them, so I thought that I would really enjoy the aquarium. Then I had another new start. How many new starts did I have? Okay, I'm not going to think about it. I also started Lavender and Lace's Firefly Fairies, which I said I was going to start. And I started in the middle, and I'm right about the blue fairies wand, and then I think it's a little bit of the yellow from the green fairies dress. This is another one. This is another Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers fabric. I don't have the tag for it. This one is linen because I wanted it to be dark. I hope you can't see through it too much. It's not, I don't think it's too bright in here. This is 28 count linen, and it is called Amazing Grays. So as you can see, if you're not familiar with this one, the directions give you directions on how to bleach the fabric to get that burst, but I just really didn't want to do that for a couple reasons. I thought I would probably ruin it, and I think it just kind of, like, they're wands and there's some pretty beads and things in there I thought would get lost. So I thought I would do it on a darker fabric. So I didn't work on that I started to get overwhelmed with all the things that I wanted to try to work on at least a little bit last month. I think I worked on it for 3 days total. Let's see if I can. I think you can still see the gradient. And I worked really hard. Hopefully I got this one centered where I want it, because the blue fairy I think is going to look nice when it comes down onto that lighter section. And then I wanted their wands to pop a little bit more as it got dark. I guess that doesn't look too bad. Under the magnifier, I wasn't super excited with my stitching. They're not really that neat, but I'm certainly not going to take them out. I'll do the best I can to be as neat as I can all the way around. And hopefully it will mask the ones that I don't like. Right. And then, oh my gosh. This is really, I can't believe I did this. I worked for, I think, just 1 day on my elemental dragon's fire. My goal for the month was to try to get the top half done and get to about 50%. I didn't quite make it to 50%. And I'm doing this one on, picture this, plus Earthen, Ada, 18 count, and I'm using Weeks Dye Works brick. I almost got 50% done. This is, I know I've mentioned this before, so sorry if I'm repeating myself. I liked the modeling on the top, and then it just kind of disappears. You know, I really could have started way up here, but anyway, I started in the middle. So, I didn't show you where I was. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to finish it out anyway. I think I mostly I finished this dragon and then got this whole section done. I had kind of just about that much done. So for 1 day, I didn't do too bad. I'm itching to start water because I have all the rest of them done. Not done. Whew, I had all the rest of them started. But we're not going to do that. Because I have to have a new start in May, which I'll show you in a bit. And then I also worked on Stitch Fusion's Aliens Tracker. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pollen allergies are getting me. And get my phone out. On this one I did 459 stitches, which brought me up to 39.5%. And this is on 18 count Ada by Pitch This Plus in the color Shale. And I finished, oops, there I am. So that's where I was when you last saw it. I had a little bit of stitching left to do in that alien, which I finished that alien, and then I got a good chunk of that alien done. Whoop. No. Oops. Oh, get it neat for you. So I completed his leg. I think I just had some stitches to do in his leg and his arms. And then I just went over here and really got a good chunk of his companion alien done. The only thing I'm not super excited about is that, and I probably will wash this just to see if it can fix it. But I guess I didn't really pay attention. I guess I shouldn't point it out, but I'm going to point it out. So when I did, this was the first section that I did. I think I went up and down. And then when I did this section, I went left to right. And so there's almost like a line there. I don't know if it's because I went up and down, and then there I went left to right, or if it's just because I stopped there. But, you know, all the stitches are going in the correct direction. I've never had that happen before. So we'll see. Maybe that'll floof out when I wash it, whenever I finish it. I mean, this one's just really more for fun. I can't say I'm really going to frame it or anything. I don't know. Let's see what I decide when I get to that point. And, oops, got threads hanging. And then I worked on my Mirabilia's The Kiss, which, oops, let me get to, I can show you where I was. Last time I had taken that out, I had worked a lot on the side and got that vase done. So I'm pretty sure that I worked back on her dress. This is kind of where her sleeve is. I think that's where I was. So I don't know if I can make it any bigger, if it will be fuzzy or not. But I've got up in this area. Again, this one's on paper, so there's no way for me to count. Well, I suppose I could count, but I'm not going to. And I worked on them for, I didn't write it down, a couple days. I realized I was running out of time, and I had a couple projects that I wanted to touch on, so I only got a couple of days worth. But I filled in some of this, and then got this is like her sleeve area, and then I think her hands right here. And this is on 28 count linen in the color, I believe it's Apple Blossom, which was tricky to find when I was trying to get her kitted up, kitted up. Oops. And then I worked 2 days on my John Shannon's mini day night. And the last few months I've done a lot in here. I did most of my ninja stitches a couple months ago. I filled in that area. But I only had a couple of days, so I wanted to get maybe some blocks done. So I worked on some block stitching in the blue. Oops. This is where he was when you last saw him. If you can see that. I'm going to try to use my husband's tablet. My old tablet, I'm having a hard time. What's on there I can see, but I think it might have died. It's not letting me delete things. Anyway, I'm going to try to use his tablet so it's a little bit bigger and less fuzzy. So I'm pretty sure I got in through here and came out here just a smidgen. And this is on 25 count 1/1. An easy count. So I think I got all this section done, and then I kind of meandered over here a little bit. I'm kind of having fun filling this section in. This was one that I had been working on every month. But for the next few months, and I'll explain as I talk about my plans for next month, because I want to work on the aquarium stitch along every month. And I don't want to do the same 3 projects every month because that would be boring for me and for you. So I think I'm going to rotate through some of my other full coverage for the next. Let's just start with this, and this will make sense. So I mentioned last time my husband's got a milestone birthday coming up in November. So I had ordered this a long time ago. I think I can finish it between now and then. This is Mustang, P-51 Mustang from Avid Stitching. It came as a kit, and I bought a cool fabric that I'll show you from Sunflower Printed Fabrics. So I'm showing this because I don't think my husband watches this whole entire video. Maybe he might watch the first couple minutes, but I doubt that he finishes them. So I won't put it on the thumbnail for my upcoming videos, but I'm going to work on this one every month. And I'm also going to work on the stitch along every month. So I'm just going to rotate through, at least through the summer, some of my other full coverage pieces. But I just thought it would look cool to have the plane on a fabric that looked like the sky. So I found this one. And this is an 18 count. I hope you can see it. See, it looks like, I think that's the name, is Wispy Clouds. That is the name, Wispy Clouds. So I'm just trying to figure out, let's see if I can fold this in half, which way to angle the fabric along with the plane. I think I'm going to go that way. So the clouds are kind of facing in the same angle as the plane. I don't know. And then I bought this big piece, but really the plane's not that big. don't think I have a stitch size on here, but it's only 12 by 7 actual embroidery size. So I could probably try to shift it somewhere if I like the darker blue better than the lighter blue, but honestly I'd be too scared that I'd screw it up, so I'm going to start in the middle. And these are the flosses that come with it. So I think that's going to look cool. And it looks pretty blocky, so I think, not blocky in a bad way, I don't mean like pixelated, I just mean that I think there's blocks of color, so I don't think it'll be, maybe it won't even take me the whole summer to do it. I say that, we'll see. So, like I said, that's one that I'm going to stitch on every month, as well as the stitch along. And then for May's full coverage, I'm going to work on, I was trying to decide if I wanted to start picking out maybe the ones I had the most what am I trying to say? Progress, or the ones with the least progress. But this one I hadn't worked on for a while, so I'm just going to pull this one out. This is Quick Stitch Phantom of the Opera, artwork by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I am doing this one on 28 count half cross, which is not my favorite, but we're going to go with it because that's the way I started it. And I started on the right corner, which is the opposite for me. I think I just wanted to see the chandelier. I don't know what possessed me to start on that side. So that's where I am. And you can see I do have some of the, my rocking chair just almost dumped me out. I did do, there's a lot of the, I got petite treasure braid instead of Krennic for the sparklies. And then, I don't know if you guys have ever used, I don't know if I can find it. I should have taken it out before. There was a DMC that's shimmery. Oh, I do have it. It's E5200. I don't know if you guys have any experience with that. Because the metallics are just, I don't care what brand of metallics I use. I don't like them. But I think I saw a comment somewhere on one of the Facebook groups that somebody likes this better. I mean, I don't want to have to take out, I'm not going to take out any of those stitches, but I thought, I don't know, maybe I could switch over to that if you have any experience with the E5200 and whether or not it's as evil as the other metallics, let me know. So I'm going to work on that one, and then I'm going to work on this. I'm going to grab my tablet for this. I'm going to show you. Oh, boogers. What did I do? This is Teresa Wentzler's, one of her freebie dragons. This is Stretch. I'm actually trying to do a mashup of all the freebie dragons, minus their borders, and I'm putting them all on the same piece of fabric, and then I may just mat it, or I may stitch an actual border. There's a border on one of the other ones that I liked a little better. But he's the biggest one. He's not the biggest. He's the longest one, and he's on the bottom, so I started with Stretch. And I dyed this fabric. This was a cream Lugana that I dyed. Whoops. You don't want to see the back. Oof. I'm always so amazed when people post pictures of the backs of their projects, because mine are always a mess. So that's where I am right now. I think the last time I took him out, I worked on this tail. Let me get some done on him. I remember I spent a lot of time trying to pick out, as much as I just said I don't like metallics, because I don't. In my stash, I just picked out one different metallic to put in, because the other ones are Futurecast and Rampant. And I'm trying to remember which one of them, or both of them, may have already called for a Krennic. And I'm swapping out for whatever I happen to have in stash. But so I have to see what I did with the chart. I know I tried to convert some colors of Stretch to a Krennic. Give him a little bit of a sparkle. We'll see how I did there. And then I'm going to also work on my Rose of Sharon from Mirabilia. And I haven't opened it up for a while to look at it, but I started in the middle and I worked my way up. the skin and the face are always my least favorite, so I just want to get that over with. And then I want to get to the arch and then work my way back down because I'm curious to see how this looks. And I'm going to try to convert her hair to the colors that they had, or she had used in Stargazer, which was more auburny, which was my original hair color when I was younger. So I thought that would be fun to try to convert. And let's see. This is a Chromatic Alchemy opalescent 28 count Lugana in the color Petra, which never really shows up right on the camera. So that's her dress, and then just the beginning of her skin. And I'm just doing regular, not regular, but I'm just doing the S charted 2/2. I don't know if my brain can handle trying to convert the skin to 1/1. I don't know if I bring it back a little bit. No, it doesn't really show. It's a really pretty fabric. It just has subtle colors that the camera doesn't pick up. It's almost some little peachy tones in there. I just thought it would be cool for the stone arch to actually look like stone. That's what I was thinking when I picked it. It looked good on the fabric viewer. Oops. All right. You know what? We'll just stack that up and take care of it later. And I can't remember when I pulled this one out last. I have to show this on my tablet too. This is... Shoot. You know what? I'm totally forgetting the title of this one. It's The Door to the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings. Gate of Moria by... Well, you can see the designer. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it right, so I'm not going to try to butcher it. So you can see the designer at the top. And I'm doing this on a 28 count charcoal Lugana using DMC's glow in the dark thread. This one's hard for me because it's got some funky stitches that just... I get in the groove with it, and then it's so long before I stitch it again, and I have to work at it all over again to get to feel like I'm comfortable with it. It's like straddle stitches, I think they're called, and the light's not shining through that, I don't think. I think last time I worked on this side, and you know what I want to show you? And I'm using 2/1, but something like, I don't know if that's going to focus. Those stitches in particular just look thinner. I don't know why. It's all the same floss that I've been using for a couple years now when I work on it. So I may take those out, or I might just maybe do like a one strand of one and just maybe go over the top cross and see if that looks as fluffy as the rest. It does look cool when you shut the lights off. That stuff does really glow in the dark, which is neat. So those are my stitching plans for May. And I'm also going to, I bought, Hobby Lobby had a 50% off sale, so I got a frame for Lilith. And then I also, while I was there, got a huge piece of almost like a mulberry colored mat board that I'm going to try to cut a mat for her myself and see how that works. So I'm hoping to maybe frame her next month. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to tell you. I am going to do, so I feel like, everybody likes a whip parade, and I did one at the end of last year. I think I did it in December, December. It might have been my November, the one I recorded in December for my November wrap up. Sorry, the pollen. The pollen's just, everything's starting to bloom, which is nice, but well. So I think I'm going to do a whip parade next month, and I was going to do a giveaway today, but I just didn't get everything together. So I think I'll probably do a giveaway during my whip parade next month, so that'll be kind of fun. And then I can get all stressed out about how many whips I have. So that is my wrap up for April and my plans for May. As crazy as I have been with new starts, I got another new one starting in May, so I'll see how much of that plane I can get if I can get through that fast, and I can sneak some other things back in. So I hope everybody has a fabulous May, and I will see you in June.